are back with another sort of episode, I guess, of my skate repair project. Today I'm going to be focusing on the finish on the outside, and I'm going to be showing you how to apply the boot polish. I have both my pairs with me today, my newer pair that I use just for my own personal skating, and the polish on the inside is starting to get a little worn off, and you want to keep your polish in really good condition because that's part of what keeps your skates waterproof. So if you lose that waterproof finish on the outside, then the leather underneath can start breaking down a little faster. I also have my older pair, of course, with extremely beat up toes that are going to need a little bit of extra care. So we're gonna address these as well. So this is my workstation. I do have these some books that have a cloth over it that's helping me sort of hold the boots up so they don't tip from side to side. So the first thing you're going to want to do is clean your skates. Just get yourself a mild soapy solution of some like Dawn dish soap and water and a rag or a sponge, and clean any dirt or grime off of your skate so that polish is going onto clean leather. Let that leather dry, and then we can tape the sole off. So this is going to keep the sole from getting any of the polish on it, and we just want to keep those soles looking really pretty. I'm just using a stretchy tape from Scotch. Once that's done, we're ready to go ahead and polish. Okay, so I have both skates taped off all the way around the sole. So we are ready to get started with the polish. So I just have this Harlick skate polish. It's custom to this color. It's their holiday tan polish. But if you have a white boot or a black boot, you could always just get polish from in any other shoe shop. I'm going to be applying the polish with this flat-tipped artist brush. I prefer flat tip rather than round, as round is going to fan out and I won't get quite as much control and precision with it. So just head to your local craft store, get yourself a brush similar to this one, and you'll be good to go. When you apply your polish, you want to apply it with just a thin amount of polish on your brush. So you don't want big globs of polish on the leather. You'll get really streaky looks and you'll see all the brush strokes, and it's not going to be that smooth finish that we're all looking for. So just a little bit of polish, brush it on really, really fine, and kind of work it back and forth so you get a smooth finish. And if you need to later on, you can always apply a second layer of polish once the first layer is completely dry. So for this one, I used an almost dry brush, hardly any polish, and you can see it's going on really, really smooth. This one, I used a heavy-handed amount of polish and just really coated it on, and you can really see those brush strokes. So I'm going to try and fix this, pull some of the polish off and spread it around a bit so that you can see how much nicer it will look if you can use a thin coating of polish. Look at that, it's looking better already just by using a thin coating of polish rather than a really heavy-handed one. Okay, so the polish on this pair is done for now. I'm going to go ahead and push this project to the side so I can get started on the other pair. So my old pair, the toes are pretty beat up. They're going to need a little bit of extra care. So this is where my little pair of nail clippers comes in. I'm actually going to go through and pull off all of the little bits of leather that are kind of sticking out so I can get a smoother finish on these. Okay, I have gone through and removed all the little extra flaps of leather that were coming off, so it's a little smoother. As you can see, it's still really beat up, but there aren't little flaps sticking out. Now I've gone ahead and removed the lacing from this boot so that I can get the polish all the way up the sides and not have to worry about working around the laces. Still have to remove the lace from this one, so we're going to do that next. And then, of course, we will tape off the sole as we did just a couple minutes ago and proceed with adding new polish. As you can see, the toes on these skates are pretty beat up. So I'm going to make sure I get my brush into all the little nooks and crannies and grooves. That way every little tiny bit of these boots is waterproofed. Remember, the polish aids the leather in being waterproof. So just a little extra care to get into any damaged areas is going to really serve you well if you have some beat up toes on your boots. have a fresh new layer of polish on them. I'm going to go ahead and set them aside and let them dry. I can come back later and see if they need any touch up anywhere, or if I want to add a second coat or anything like that. And then this polish project is just about done. I have left both these pairs of skates for several hours and they're completely dry. I do suggest though, if you're going to polish your skates, you give them as much time as possible to dry. So after your last skating session, you want to dry them off, make sure there's no moisture left on your boots. And then once you polish them, try to give them at least a weekend before you skate on them again. That way that water isn't going to damage that newly dry polished job you just did. You guys, I am so excited. My boot repair project is finally done. All I've got to do is throw some laces on this old pair and get those blades remounted. And these just needed a little bit of work, so they're good to go for many, many more hours of practice. This has been quite a process. Thanks so much for sticking with me through all of these videos. I hope you learned something and maybe you can apply some of these techniques to your own skates. If you enjoyed this, found it helpful, please do give me a thumbs up. And of course, click that subscribe button down below. Until next time, there's a video right here that I think you'll enjoy.